Patreon Q&A number 37. I want to thank all 62 of my amazing, incredible patrons. Guys, you've heard it before. You know I love you. You know I can't thank you enough, and it's the truth. I mean, honestly, what you are doing for me means more than you know. Like, you are helping me so much, especially in this really rough time with the channel that I'm going through. But hopefully it's over soon and we get back on track with the way things used to be. So thank you again, guys, and I hope the Q&A is just something I get back for all that you've given to me. But other than that, everyone else listening, there's probably going to be spoilers in these questions and answers. Steven asks, Привет! You know how we know Orochi isn't dead? Because we didn't get his backstory yet. What are they going to do? Have Yiro explain how they met and what she did after he's out of the story? That would just be weird. Seeing as how he used to be human-sized, I think he'll emerge from his decapitated head in a smaller form, especially since Murata hates having to draw him. What disaster level would you give Pennywise, and what's your favorite giant robot? Take care, dude. Thank you for your continued patronage, Steven. You know I appreciate it, my friend. So, I don't know if we're going to get anything more on Orochi. I think that might be it. Like, that's all the backstory we're going to get. And that's fine. You know, at least we're getting something on him. And maybe it's their intention to leave it ambiguous and open-ended like that. Like, just mysterious. I mean, it would be awesome if it went more in detail and we found out pretty much everything about him, you know, kind of like how they do with the One Piece characters and just the side characters for the most part. I would be on board, but I just don't think they're going to do that here. I'm just really appreciative that we got that at all. I could see other series just totally not even giving like, a character like Orochi a backstory. But I don't think that's why he's going to be coming back. I do like your theory about his head possibly holding his form or something like that. I do think that's going to happen too. I do think that he's going to have a smaller humanoid form. Maybe like the part of his skull that's on the ground just morphs into what the form would be rather than him coming out of it, you know what I mean? So let me just say it in this video why I think Orochi is going to come back, other than just him having the death that he did, like the odd conspicuousness of it. So I'm going to be going into some spoilers that Murata talked about last year when he was live streaming. And this isn't webcomic stuff. This is like straight from the mouth of one, more or less, like his notes on what the manga is going to happen. So if you and everyone else listening doesn't want to know this, and just let me say that this isn't concrete. It could happen, it couldn't, maybe not. But if you don't even want to take the chance of being spoiled about this, you can just skip to the next question with the timestamp right here. But other than that, let's get into it. So last year, Murata said that Orochi was eventually going to fight Tatsumaki. And that they were going to be fighting on the surface after Tatsumaki pulls the Monster Association out of the ground. And that Orochi was going to get the better of Tatsumaki, more or less. And that this was going to be the reason how Psychos was able to get the upper hand on Tatsumaki, because they didn't like the way that it played out in the webcomic. It kind of she just kind of gets distracted from fighting the executives, and then Psychos is able to blindside her, and that's it. So they want to have a better way about going about things in the manga, and they're going to try to use Orochi to do that. So then Orochi is also going to be fighting the S-Class heroes, apparently, and they're going to be too fast for him, allegedly. And then eventually Tatsumaki is going to take out Orochi, and then the executives are going to come out of the rubble, and then, like, that's when that whole war begins between everyone fighting at once. So, this could still happen, or maybe they decided to scrap it and just went with the idea of Saitama taking him out instead. Either thing could happen here. I mean, this is mainly the reason why I think Orochi is going to come back, because of all of this info that we got last year on this. So, either they found another way for Psychos to overcome Tatsumaki and damage her and use the psychic binding on her, or Orochi's going to come back and we're going to get this, but he's only just going to come back to die again. Regardless, it would be cool, but I do think there's a good chance he's going to come back. So the disaster level I would give Pennywise is like a tiger, maybe a demon. See, Pennywise is kind of like a glass cannon to me. He does have a pretty cool ability. It's like it's like pretty much Genjutsu along with feeding off of one's energy, soul, whatever he's feeding off of. I know it's fear and whatnot, and I'll get to that, but I think the whole big glaring weakness that he has is like once you figure out that it's fear that gives him power, He's pretty much done, and that's why I'm saying he's like a glass cannon. So that's why I'm going to regulate him to like Tiger, possibly low demon status, because he's eventually going to run into someone who's not afraid of him. So I think all like the B-class heroes and a lot of the A-class heroes are probably going to fall into that genjutsu, but there are going to be some ones who are just have no fear of him whatsoever, like Moomin Rider, for example. Like, if Moomin Rider encountered Pennywise, I think he'd be able to defeat him. That's just my opinion, of course. I mean, then again, kids were able to outsmart him and defeat him, so, you know, pretty powerful, but if Metalback can figure out Melzerguard, I'm sure another hero can figure out Pennywise. My favorite robot is probably either Eva 1 or Eva 3 from Evangelion Neon Genesis. Those designs of the Evas are just flawless, in my opinion. Some of the best designed mechs, just characters, things from manga and anime in general, ever. So good. Now, Evangelion, on the other hand, as a series, I have mixed feelings on it, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I love the Evas. They're just so well made. I haven't really seen a design that has come close to the streamlined elegance of that, I'll say. Dat Boi asks, hey Papa, why do you think that the DBS anime chose not to show Beerus' fight scene with all of the other gods of destruction? This is just showing us that Beerus has Ultra Instinct, just not mastered yet. Since the anime says that Beerus has Ultra Instinct, I thought it didn't make much sense to leave the fight out like that. King versus Jar Jar Binks, Battle of the Luck. Misa thinks King eviscerates Jar Jar, but you never know. Hey, thank you so much for your continued patronage, Dat Boi. You know I appreciate it and I love you, my friend. So, it's too bad that this isn't in the anime. It's one of the highlights of the series, in my opinion, and probably my favorite moment in the manga. Like, it's so well done, surprisingly, and very satisfying, too. The battle royale of the God of Destructions at the Zen exhibition in the manga. So good. But the reason why it's not in the anime is because this happened after the Zen exhibition in the anime had already taken place. So I think it was like late 2016 or early 2017 that the Zen exhibition took place in the anime, and it was many months afterwards that the Zen exhibition with the God of Destructions and Beerus' fight happened in the manga, like 7 or 8 months later. So that's why, and also like the DBS anime doesn't follow the manga, they're two different continuities. So I guess Toyotaro took it upon himself to include this sequence in the manga after he saw how the Zen exhibition played out in the anime, which I assume was just written by Toei at the time. I don't think Toyotaro was giving input to the anime, so I think that was just like two different writers, and that's why we're not getting both of these at the same time. Although it would be cool to have that. Like I said, it would be incredible in the anime, because when we just got that little the three-way fight at the beginning of the Tournament of Power between those three gods, that was amazing. So imagine all of them coming together like we see in the manga. Man, come on. Well, maybe when Super comes back, we'll get that. Maybe, but other than that, it's like showing Beerus has Ultra Instinct would have been essential. Like what you're saying here, I agree. Other than us just having to backtrack and go to the beginning of the series, like the first 16 episodes, to really see that Beerus does have Ultra Instinct because of what he was doing against Goku and Vegeta, and also Whis just telling us that Beerus has it, but he's not mastered it because he clearly has like a very high level of it in the exhibition when he's going against the other gods. Like, it's kind of implied in the manga that Beerus might be the strongest god of destruction, either him or Kitella. But in the anime, it paints a very different picture. Like, in the anime, I guess it implies that Gin, the Universe 12 God of Destruction, he's probably the strongest, or one of the strongest. It's also implied that Belmod is stronger than Beerus, although we know that Kitella is the one who defeated him in the arm wrestling contest in the manga, but it's implied that Belmod did it in the anime. So just conflicting continuities here. That's the reason why we're not getting one or the other. But King versus Jar Jar Binks. So I don't think Jar Jar Binks has the kind of luck that King has. Jar Jar Binks kind of just has, luck. Like, he's just a lucky dude. King, however, has an insane supernatural ability that bends reality itself. So if Jar Jar Binks were to encounter King, he'd either die of him just killing himself somehow, just being goofy, because he had a ton of goofy moments in the first movie. So he would just, fall into a pit or get, how his tongue got electrified in between the two pod racing electricity thing, he would do something like that, trying to go after King or something. It just wouldn't end well for Jar Jar. Hopefully King just walks away and Jar Jar can keep his life, but other than that, chances are good Jar Jar's going to get melted here. Joshua M. asks, hey, Big Z, my first question for you today is Ultron from the MCU and the Ultron drones from Age of Ultron versus the entirety of the S-Class. Who wins that encounter? Also, I just want to say thank you for shouting out my forum. Haven't gotten any new visitors yet, but I'm glad you're enough of a bro to shout out a little guy like me. I was just curious if you read over everything I've written down so far. If so, what you think? And what's your favorite race, event, or concept I've brought up? My next question is a bit of a doozy. If Flashy Flash had access to the Speed Force from DC Comics, how strong do you think? Thank you for your continued patronage, Josh. You know I appreciate it so much, my friend. So, I think the S-Class would be way too much for Ultron and his drones. I was really underwhelmed with Ultron from the movie. I didn't think he was that powerful. I assumed that he was going to be way more powerful than what he was. I'm not saying he's weak or a chump by any means, and maybe he really would have reached his pinnacle if he had gotten the Mind Stone, but aside from that, he was just, I don't know, he didn't really strike me as being that powerful. I don't even think he was like a dragon level at that point. Maybe with all of his drones collective, you know, but I honestly think Metal Knight alone would probably be enough to take down Ultron. You know, like his army, his robot army versus Ultron's robot army. I think Metal Knight would probably take him down, but if all of the S-Class worked together, I think they would make quick work of Ultron, honestly. I just don't think he's strong enough to just be a one singular threat to take down all of the S-Class heroes. And no problem, man, of course, I'll shout out your stuff. I'm happy that you're, you know, actually doing it and just getting your thoughts out onto the page, as they say. And I enjoyed all of it. Like, I like that you're really going in depth into just the mythology or the possible mythology of Universe 3. Because, like, and just universes in general, because, like, the writers of Dragon Ball Super from Toei, they could have easily done this themselves. Like, you didn't really write all that much complex lore. They could have just did this easily and just added a little more depth to their characters. Like, we don't know anything about the universes, honestly. Like, when Mule was revealed to be the robot, like, they never say anything more than that. It's just like, yep, hey, that was him. I thought you would have touched on this in your history of the Universe 3. You know how you go back 80 million years? Maybe you didn't want to, or maybe you're getting to that, but I like how you said that there was, Campari was just the only angel there, and that took it upon himself to become the god of destruction as well. And that's another question that has been lingering in DBS. It's like, what happened with the creation of the universes? Why are the angels there? Was the angel just the god of destruction as well before the god of destruction was discovered? You know, there's a lot of questions, but I like your female god of destruction that you had, the female scientist. Kind of reminds me of Android 21. But I also like that you added the tree that makes the golden fruit that develops the Kaioshin. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of people know that, actually. That's like a deep cut of knowledge for Dragon Ball Z, because they don't talk about it in the series. I think that information is only available in the Kanzenshu or the Daizenshu, one of them. So yeah, props to you, and keep it going, man. I've liked it so far, and I like how you try to individually categorize every race from Universe 3 that we saw, like from Catopezla, Paparoni, and the organic robots and all like that. So good stuff, man. Just keep it up. And I think if Flash had the Speed Force, that would probably promote him to God level, close to it, I suppose. Now, I'm not saying that if Flash had the Speed Force, he's automatically going to be as powerful as the Flash, and automatically going to be able to go past the speed of light, but I know that not everybody with the Speed Force is capable of going past the speed of light. I know that, but I think Flashy Flash would probably be able to attain this if he was given this power. Just taking a guess. I mean, he's already close to the speed of light, if not already on it. Like I always say, it's not confirmed yet. But along with just the speed increase, the Speed Force also gives him increased intelligence, agility, the strength, all of that stuff. So it would just really, really push him over the level, and I think it would make him like the strongest S-Class hero possibly. Not saying God definitively, but for sure above Dragon. My granny asks 0100010001001.